Chapter 16. The Possession of Patience, Forbearance. Other translations: the possession of forbearance, forgiveness, tolerance. I feel the word porumai or porayudaimai in Tamil means includes patience, which is like waiting for something to happen without hurrying, as well as forbearance and tolerance. All these things are brought out by porumai. I would I would rather use forbearance and tolerance interchangeably. So, this chapter heading I would call the possession of forbearance. Tolerance or forbearance is to be patient. Tolerance or forbearance is to be patient when others do harm to oneself and not harming them in return. The verses in this chapter tell us not only to tolerate when someone hurts us knowingly, out of pride or ignorance, but to forget it altogether. Forbearance is said to be strength among strengths because it requires, it requires great willpower to show forbearance and forgive one who did harm. A forbearing person will feel no deficiency in life. He will be adored like gold. The verses in this chapter say that he will always be in the minds of fellow beings. One of the verses advises not to take revenge, but to find the solution in other worthy ways. One who forbears hurtful words is more honored than the renunciate and the penitent. The verses of this chapter glorify him as in the heart because of the evil done by the other person, and therefore the motivation to do evil in return. Tolerance lies in not expressing it in action. This chapter includes advice for those who have the misconception that tooth for tooth, foot for foot, and kick for kick is the proper method of revenge. The advice is that the person harmed by another should show forbearance by not returning the harm. Tolerance includes enduring and forgetting. Forgetting refers to forgetting as part of forgiving. Tolerating the harm done unknowingly shows a strong willpower and is not cowardice. Tolerance requires willpower, maturity, generosity, and great strength. Forbearance is not the result of a soft nature, it comes out of great strength. The world does not value one who takes revenge. Only those who show forbearance are well respected by the world. The essence of chapter 16, verses 151. Like the earth that bears even those who till it, supreme virtue is to be forbearing with one's deriders. 152. One should always tolerate a transgression. It is even better to forget it. 153. Turning away a guest is the most abject poverty. To bear with one, to bear with ignorance. 154. If you want to lead an unabated, fulfilling life, you have to preserve and practice forbearance. 155. One who retaliates is not held in high regard. One who is patient is precious as gold. 155. Those who retaliate rarely rejoice for a day. The repute of the patient remains till the end of the world. 157. Even if an untoward evil is done unto you, it is better not to resent and do an unrighteous deed. 158. Defeat a person who has, out of arrogance, done you harm by your forbearance. One who 159. One who patiently bears the harsh words of a transgressor is purer than a Puritan. 160. Great ascetics who conquer hunger by fasting are inferior to those who patiently endure the harsh words of others. So we get an idea of the importance of forbearing and how that will help one to get the appreciation of the the rest of the world, especially the learned, uh, great people and contemporaries. And uh, the one about turning away the guest, what it means is either if somebody is not able to entertain a guest for want of facility or food, that's that's one thing. Extreme poverty. That's an example. That's the case of extreme poverty. But it also follows to bear with the ignorant is might of might. And on the other hand, if one turns away the guest without feeding, then and if, though he can afford to, he has food. He's not the householder is not poor, but still they don't want to entertain guests. Then they are like ignorant. So the guest who was turned away should bear it. That's to forbear or tolerate such an act is the might of might. It requires great strength. Then the other one, defeat a person who has done you harm by your forbearance. It's not only forbearance, actually it should read uh, the, the, the best way to defeat a person, the best revenge on a person who has hurt you is not just forbearing, but to even give